We have a few cards from folks who didn't come when I first called. Kurt Hausauer would be up then. Mr. Pennington,
Thank
welcome.
you, Mr. Chairman.
You have 3 minutes.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's been a long day, and I think more details may not be as important as some summary observations. I was at the TCF Cobo Hall Center on both Tuesday, November 3rd, for almost 14 hours, a little more than 14 hours, and again Wednesday, November 4th, for nearly 12 hours. During that time, I witnessed in summary many of the things that have been detailed by those who have given eyewitness testimony here today. That eyewitness testimony, I would submit to you, qualifies as evidence. That evidence has to be adjudicated and looked at in the overall scope of what it is that this committee will eventually do in determining how deeply you'll investigate or look at some of the evidence that's been presented here. What I saw in summary as a person from the business community, I've seen many systems at work, and I work on strategy, and I work in a number of areas where you look at the whole end-to-end picture of how systems work. I would submit to you that this system could be fixed, and it wouldn't take much, but it would take a very assiduous level of detailed observation. One, the very provenance of the ballots themselves. The ballots themselves, if you were to send something, if you were to send me a gift from Amazon, you would and I would both probably have through the UPS, FedEx, or whatever delivery system a greater level of confidence in sending me a piece of candy than you would the ballot, which has been described by many people here today as a sacred privilege, a sacred duty, a sacred responsibility. I think we'd all agree with that. But what I observed at Cobo Hall was essentially on the surface, if you didn't look deeply, you could see teams that were working together. They were rallied together by the supervisors at various periods. And what I observed there was essentially an attempt to create some esprit de corps there. And I would submit to you further that many of the people working there just wanted to do their jobs. What I haven't heard brought up here today was how they were either incentivized or remunerated or both. I'm told, and I have not been able to verify this for the Detroit Department of Elections yet, that most of these people are typically paid $250 per shift. Maybe you can verify that. I was told, however, at this election cycle, they were paid $600 per shift. It's typically an 8 to 10 or 12-hour shift, day shift and night shift, and that supervisors were paid $700. Why would Detroit be selected? And I'm told that one other Michigan city was selected for an enhancement of remuneration. That's interesting, to say the least. But I do believe that today, as we sit here, half the people in this constitutional republic, this great nation, feel disenfranchised and defrauded of this most sacred act of good faith in acting to sustain our democracy. Either way this goes, 1/2 of the populace of this country is going to feel disenfranchised and defrauded. I think it's up to this body and other bodies like yours to have the will and determination to go deeper in at least looking at a standard, a modicum of best practices, and I think this could be easily done. I will submit my recommendations, which would include camera systems, which would be privately held. They would not disclose the nature of the vote. We all saw the ballots, but we're not disclosing which way people individually voted. That's a sacred trust. But secondly, I think you could also have a much better degree of sorting the provenance, just like I've said earlier. If you were to mail something to someone using one of the standard carriers today, you'd have more confidence in that than you would in your own ballot. That is an outrage, and that's something that is addressable.
Thank you. You have written down the suggestions?
I'm going to send you these suggestions, Senator McBroom, and I thank you for taking the time, but I challenge you to have the will, all of you, and I think this is a very, I think this is an equitable charge. I think across both parties, there's an equal interest in adjudicating this fairly. Nobody wants to see people feel that they've been disenfranchised and defrauded in this country today. And I believe we can do better. I believe we're not even close. If you were to bring a group of business people in, graduate students from a major university could hack this system easily. That was the thing that stood out to me most. This system is easily compromised, and it shouldn't be. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. After 7 hours of hearing testimony today, I think it was worth the hearing.
Well, thank you for your patience. Do any members have any questions before Mr. Pennington goes? Thank
I
you,
just
Vice
want to
Chair.
thank
Senator.
you for being patient, doing what you just did. There's not many that do this. Look at this today. But more importantly, those recommendations as through your eyes are different than from our eyes.
Yes, sir.
thank
Senator Lucido, I am like, others have said this before, I've taken my liberty for granted. I'm embarrassed and I'm ashamed. I've never fought in a foreign war. I'm not a veteran, but people have given everything for us to have this privilege. It is certainly, I know people have said these are fatiguing meetings, they're long days. No, they're not. This is worth it. Every minute of this is worth it. And I commit to you and to this committee to follow up and offer you suggestions that I think will be seen as equitable to either party. But this isn't over yet. I would submit to you and the American people that we have a constitutional process under law by which the media does not determine who our elected officials will be absent going through the process that is necessary. It's painful. It's gone on longer than it should. But we can do better, we must, and we must adjudicate this in a way that satisfies the demand of the American people that they trust, but we must verify.
Thank you for your
Thank you.
inspiration. Thank you.